Yo, what's up everybody? In this video we're going to look at the Friday slate, 14 game slate for today, so let's get right into it. Please like and subscribe down below. Starting off at pitcher, we have a bunch of good options to choose from at the top with 6 guys priced above $10,000 today on DraftKings. My favorite's going to be the most expensive guy out of that group, and Blake Snell at 11-4. He's been really good this season with 71 strikeouts and just 49 innings. Take out a couple starts against the Royals, which roughed him up out of all teams. He's been dominant since the second start of the season. If you take those 2 starts out of it, he pitches pretty deep into games. I mean, when he's pitching well, they let him go about 100. And against this matchup here against the Indians, it's a pretty good matchup. The Indians lineup is still not very good, and just hitting the ball, they're one of the lowest batting averages in the league this season. The lineup is very ugly, the bottom half especially. A guy like Jose Ramirez is still not hitting the ball well. When you have a guy like Jordan Luplow hitting cleanup, and you can have a couple lefties in there at the bottom like Bowers and Leonis Martin and Kipnis, who bats second, is a lefty. Should be a really good matchup for Blake Snell, and he has been good both at home and on the road this season. So even though it's a ballpark downgrade for him, it's still, he pitches well in any ballpark. He just has that talent. So I like him a lot at 11-4. And the second pitcher I'm going to go with is going to be $7,600 Trent Thornton against the Padres here. He's been pretty good for a rookie, especially for a rookie. 50 Ks and just 49 innings, only 41 hits allowed. He does get in a little trouble with the walks, which is a little concerning. But here against the Padres, I like him a lot just because they are extremely righty-heavy lineup. I'll show you guys the numbers for Thornton against right-handed hitters this season. He's been pretty good against them. And the Padres are probably going to have like 7 righties in the lineup. So he's held righties to just a .210 batting average and just a .309 slugging and just a .271 WOBA out of the 91 that he's faced. So he's been a lot better to righties than lefties. I've had teed off against him. So I feel really good about Thornton here, especially with all the Ks in this Padres lineup. They strike out They have an extremely high strikeout rate to right-handed pitchers. A guy like Framil Reyes has a ton of power, but he also strikes out a bunch. 45 strikeouts for him. Will Myers has an unbelievably high strikeout rate this season. 61 strikeouts and just 149 at-bats. Renfroe's probably not going to be in the lineup, but if he is, he strikes out a lot too with 38 and 136 at-bats, and so does Machado. He has like 43 Ks, I think, this season. So lots of strikeout opportunity for Thornton and lots of strikeouts in this Padres lineup. So feel good about going with those 2 guys as my pitchers. Starting off at first base, I like Matt Carpenter here, mainly because he's pretty cheap at just $4,200. The Cardinals have a high total today. It's supposed to be really good hitting weather in St. Louis, and they're facing Mike Foltynewicz, who's been extremely bad this season. He's only made a handful of starts because he was dealing with an injury. He's probably still being bothered by that injury because he hasn't been the same pitcher that he was last season. The Cardinals already roughed him up once, where he gave up 3 home runs against the Cardinals 2 starts ago, and I feel like a good spot for the Cardinals to kind of rough him up a little bit again. He's given up an insane 10 home runs in just 27 innings pitched this season. Last season, he was really good with the Ks, but this season his strikeouts are way down, just 17 strikeouts and 27 in the third innings. And he's given up 2 or more home runs in 4 out of his 5 starts. So feel good about the Cardinals bats today, especially a lefty here in Matt Carpenter. Last season, May was when Carpenter really took off and had really carried the Cardinals offense. But this season Carpenter is still not hitting the ball really well, just .203 average. But he still bats leadoff, so he's probably looking at like 5 at-bats here. And those 5 at-bats, I think he can do some damage. He's been hitting the ball pretty well with power as of late. And when the weather heats up is when Carpenter heats up, as he said himself. And Folty throws the fastball a ton, and Carpenter has one of the highest ISOs against the fastball on the team. So it's a really good spot for him because he's going to get to see a fastball a bunch. And then the second guy I like at second base is going to be Luis Azer. Probably butchered his last name, but anyway, this guy is really cheap for the Twins. He's been getting a lot of playing time with the injury to Nelson Cruz. At just $3,700, He seems like a really good play today. Gets a great platoon advantage against Lopez. Lopez has been bad. The Twins are extremely good. They hit 8 home runs yesterday against Harvey, out of all people. Shocker, right? But anyway, this guy, he doesn't strike out that much. He has no strikeouts so far in his 5 games. And in the minor leagues, he only had 13 strikeouts in 38 games. The Twins minor league system does a great job of finding guys that don't strike out that much. I mean, the catcher that they have, catcher/third baseman, Williams Astillo, he only has 3 strikeouts this entire season, which is insane because he's hit like 120 at bats. But this guy has a lot of ability to get on base. He had a 342 average in the minor leagues. Has a little bit of pop, not too much pop, but he has gone yard once this season. And I feel like it's going to be a good spot for him to get a lot of hits, a lot of RBI opportunities, and lots of run scored opportunities. So even if he doesn't go yard, I feel like with his ability to get on base and extra opportunities for RBIs and run scored with his high total and his price tag, I like him a bunch here at 3,700. So another stack that I like is going to be the A's stack a bit here against a lefty in what's his name? Yeah, Wade LeBlanc at 7,400. LeBlanc's been very bad this season. Well, pretty bad. His last start was when his last start really just ballooned his ERA. But even before that last start, he was really getting lucky by just surviving because he was giving up a ton of hits. He gives up a lot of fly balls. He struggles to righties. The Twins roughed him up. Shocker, the Twins have been roughing up every single starting pitcher almost this season. But I feel it's a good spot for the A's since they are very cheap. They have over a 5-run total, which is rare for playing in the Coliseum. So first guy I like is going to be Stephen Piscotty. Piscotty's just $3,700. He's been really good against left-handed pitching this season as for his career. So Piscotty this season has one of the highest averages to lefties. He's hitting 373 average against left-handed pitching with 3 home runs and just 51 at-bats. So much more power against lefties. He only has 2 home runs and 143 at-bats to right-handed pitching. So it's a really good spot for Piscotty. He's been getting a good bump in the batting order since Davis has been down with an injury. He has a 176 WRC plus against lefties this season, which is crazy. And his career numbers are as well. He has a 210 career ISO against lefties and hits about 20 points higher. So feel really good about Piscotty and his cheap price tag. And then I like Chad Pinder as well. Both guys are extremely cheap. He's 3,800. He also hits lefties extremely well, and he's been hitting the ball well as of late. Pinder this season against lefties, just like Piscotty, they both crush lefties. See his numbers for Pinder this season. He's hitting 300 against left-handed pitching, just like Piscotty. He has 3 home runs and just 50 at-bats, compared to 2 home runs and 77 at-bats against righties. That gives him a 260 ISO, 560 slugging. And this Pinder's just been good against lefties his entire career. He's hitting almost 50 points higher against lefties for his career. A lot more power to lefties as well. Well, actually, the ISO is the same, but slugging's higher, and lately he's been a lot more powerful against lefties. I like Pinder a lot here at his cheap price tag. And just want to see the numbers for LeBlanc. Make sure he's not like reverse splits or anything weird. But I'm pretty sure he struggles against right-handed power. And that is correct. Righties are hitting 344 against him with a 688 slugging. So feel really good about going with some of these A's today. So yeah, you can definitely attack a guy like LeBlanc with all the righties, and the A's are extremely cheap. So those are the picks that I like for today on this 14-game slate. Blake Snell, Thornton, Carpenter, Azaire, whatever his last name is, Pinder, and Piscotty. Still easy with about 3,900 left to build the rest. But lots of stacks to go with. Didn't really talk about the Coors bats today. We have the Baltimore Orioles are extremely cheap. Or some of them are cheap, like Chris Davis is 3,600. Rio Ruiz is just 3,800. And whoever their outfield, Wilkerson's projected to lead off, he's 4,400. So they get a pretty good matchup against Hoffman, who can give it up, especially in this park. And on the Rocky side, whenever they face a lefty, you already know who to plug in. It's going to be Arenado, Story, Desmond. Top 3 guys to go with. But yeah, if you're going to be paying out pitcher, you're going to need kind of go with a cheaper stack, and that's why I like mix and matching with some of the cheap value that we have on the Twins, and maybe going with some other guys, some other teams that have a high total, like the Cardinals. But that's it for the video. Those are the picks that I like. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And drop a like if you enjoyed, and good luck today.